It's almost November and it's supposed to be winter in India, but it doesn't feel like it because yesterday it was still raining in Goa. The forecast for tomorrow and the day after and for the duration that I'm here is rain. And for the first time, I'm not super thrilled about rain because it comes in the way of birding. And as I'm driving on this beautiful road that heads towards Karnataka, I'm thinking of the first time I went out birding, which is probably in 2007 or so. It's something I started wildlife photography with. I think it's something everyone starts wildlife photography with. So super excited to get back to birding. Winter is a good time. There'll be a few migrants, both from outside the country and from within. In an ideal scenario, the rain would have stopped, so we'd be able to get some good photos, get our long lenses out, and there'll be a few fruiting trees, so the birds gather around them. I've got Omkar with me, who's my good friend, who will show me a few spots and help me understand a bit more about the birds in this part of the Western Ghats. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Looking forward.
We parked at the Mahadev Temple, Tambisurla, one of the oldest temples in Goa. This is a popular birding spot because there's a ficus tree next to the temple that is likely to be fruiting around this time. So I set up my tripod and got to work. And the first visitor that morning wasn't a bird. And while I could hear a number of birds, it took me a while to start finding them through my viewfinder. But soon enough, it became hard to keep track of the comings and goings. There were one too many birds on the tree.
So we've been here for the last couple of hours and we've seen a number of birds come here. We've seen bulbuls, we've seen a hornbill, there's been also a giant squirrel, and apart from that we've seen flycatchers, tailor birds been going up and down. We've seen some barbets, and it made me realize why birding is so difficult. While we've seen a lot of things, I've not got too many things at the back of my sensor. I've only made a handful of shots. I'm again shooting with my 800mm on the crop mode, which is giving me, I think, an equivalent of 1200, and even with this it's really hard to get close ups, they're really far away. But yeah, it's been fun to have been back birding, and let's see what else is in store for us.
Just as I said that, we heard the unmistakable call of a Malabar Trogon, one of the flagship birds of the region and easily the biggest highlight of the session. This fellow was a proper skulker. And while we waited for him to show up, I caught up with Omkar.
Winter is a great time to be birding. One is because there are a lot of migratory birds which come here, and there is a migratory population of the resident birds as well. So in all, the number of birds that are around, they are quite large. So the number of birds is higher, the number of species is also higher, and on a given day you can see close to about 50 species easily. A lot of people don't know, but Goa has a lot of forests, We have all this forest protected in the form of 6 wildlife sanctuaries and a national park, and we are right at the foothills of the Western Ghats. Although some areas do have an altitude of more than 600 meters as well, but in all this forests in the Western Ghats we have a lot of endemic species. We have about 18 species of birds which are endemic. We have quite a few other species as well in terms of reptiles and amphibians, different flora as well. So it's a biodiversity hotspot in a way which a lot of people don't know about.
So on some days you drive for about 10 kilometers, see a few birds, and right at your doorstep you have one of the rarer birds that you can find in Goa, the lesser cuckoo, which is a passage migrant, which means that it's on its way, on its migration. It's made a pit stop here, will head further down south. It's been spotted for a few days, but I'm just glad that I was able to see it, and I was able to see it in such close proximity. At the longest end of my lens, I could get like a passport shot of its head. So glad to have seen the lesser cuckoo. So for the last 3 hours or so, I've been sitting here and photographing sunbirds, spiderhunters, butterflies and whatnot. And this aspect of birding I love, where I just park myself at a place around flowering plants or fruiting trees and wait for the most beautiful birds to show up. And this is at Jungle Trails, my favorite place in Goa. And I've shared a video about this. You should probably check that out. It is a beautiful homestay. It's a great concept. And there's something to be said about this easy chair birding as compared to the birding that I went about this morning, where we drove a fair bit, found a fruiting tree, saw a number of birds. It was great to see the Trogon, but I don't think I made the best photos. And this, on the contrary, has been very different. It's been the easiest trek. It's just outside my room. And I've made some great photos. And while they aren't the rarest birds, I'm happy doing this on as many afternoons as I can. Not sure what the afternoon holds. We'll check with Omkar on that. But I do like the easy, laid-back style of birding as well.
Apart from sunbirds and spider hunters, I saw so many butterflies. The highlight of the afternoon was watching this grass yellow butterfly laying eggs. And just as I was about to wind up, it started to rain, and it poured till quite late in the evening. When the rain did stop, it was the right time for us to head out to look for an elusive subject.
So the first thing I did when I checked in yesterday was to check if there was any bioluminescence in the area. Of course there wasn't, because it's been too dry. But while I was looking for it, around 7 p.m, I saw 2 really young civet cubs on that tree there. Now I don't know enough about civets to know if, because I saw them yesterday, they'll be here again today. I don't know if they den on a particular tree. But given that they were really young civets and the mom wasn't around and they hung on to this tree for a while, I feel that there's a chance they might come out today, and it's a chance worth taking. So here we are, having placed our bets on finding two civets. Not sure if they're called cups or pups, but yeah, hoping to find two civets here. We'll wait here till it's 7:30 and dark. Let's see how it goes.
उसी ब्रांच से थोड़ा राइट में गया, उसी ब्रांच पे ही है, अभी पूरा नहीं दिख रहा है।
A flying squirrel. I'm not sure who, but I think it was John Muir who said something to the extent of every time we walk in nature, we are rewarded with more than what we expect. And that's what happened today. While we were waiting for the civets and scanning the canopy for what we thought were civets, we saw two Indian giant flying squirrels. I've seen them before, but these are incredibly rare mammals in India. I haven't got the best footage, but just to be able to see them so close and know that you're in the vicinity of these animals is incredible. So thankful that I made the trip for the civets. We'll wait for a bit, see if the civets show up. If they don't, well, these are the flying squirrels.
Another nocturnal subject caught our eye on the way back. A brown hawk owl perched on the mango tree. I couldn't make the best shots, but this was a huge lifer for me. The next morning, I headed to the plateau nearby, hoping to find some birds there. I've done a full video on the wildlife on this plateau, so do check that out.
So I'm on the Laterite Plateau, and it is a beautiful morning here, mist settling in just as we walked in. And it's amazing to see how much the plateau has transformed in just a month. I was here last month, and even though the rains were higher than what they are now, there wasn't as much grass. It's amazing that it takes for the rain to stop for the grass to start growing, and I'm told it'll grow much more lush and much more longer than what it is right now. But it is so beautiful to see that this plateau actually looks like a nice grazing area now. Maybe one of these days I'll be able to see herds of gourd here. This morning has been brilliant because of the lovely setting we're in. We saw a couple of hornbills as well, but not much apart from that. And I think it's a good end to my beautiful trip at the start of winter here. Hopefully I'll come back here in December again. Hopefully I'll see more birds, and I'll definitely make a trip to this plateau another time just to see how it transforms through the seasons.